Welcome to Indie Gaga. Let me first say it's an honor to have you guys here. Your connection with Kerala does not start with this interview, it started way back then. But let me introduce you guys. You are the Tapi project, named after the river Tapi. We have Yogi, who plays the guitars and is on vocals, along with Swati. We have Gaurav, who is the percussionist. And we have Biju on keys and everything to do with synthesizers, anything digital, I'm guessing, but that we'll get to know once we get into the interview. So, firstly, let me ask you, band from Surat, we got some time to speak about this. 26 years, both of you, that's Yogi and Gaurav have been together. I mean, Gaurav was in school, Yogi was in college. But you started way back then. Nothing much has really changed in Surat, but the music scene back there and now. Could you tell us a little about it? We will definitely get into the band, but I just want to know your roots and where you came from.
Yeah, so I think it all started with just the basic zest we all have to get on stage and scream out loud. And slowly it became a little more serious, and then it became a little more professional. And somehow we ended up, forming a band which took us to 26 countries. So that's how it is.
So when you started off, you guys started as Odyssey. Not all of you. It was Gaurav part of Odyssey back then?
Yeah.
Or just
Gaurav,
Yogi, you
me,
had.
Gaurav, me, the guy, the studio we are sitting in. The owner's name is Chaitanya. He was playing guitar, and we have a guy from Kottayam, Anand Joseph Mani. So we four formed Odyssey.
So from there, it became to the Tapi project. Okay, now I can understand this. I'm also going to go here to give the viewers an idea as to what Tapi project kind of plays. I cannot define the kind of music you guys play as Tapi project. I'll tell you why. I think that's a great thing because independent as you are, focusing on the kind of music you're playing and who your audience is, I believe it's more to do with the audience abroad. And now you're trying to get a feel for what the audience here can also get when it comes to the kind of music that you're playing. But if I can get this right, the vibe of a music is like almost like Massive Attack, if I could say that, or am I completely wrong here by saying that that's what it is?
Well, I mean, that'd be a compliment.
That was a massive attack.
That'd be a compliment, but with every song, what we do is we can't understand the genre. We don't understand genre at all. We understand expression. All of us are same. Fortunately, all of us sail in the same boat. We understand that we have a medium, we have a tool, and we want to express. And then you're not tired. Music and genre and everything, all the boundaries were done by us, but music is basically a free-flowing expression.
I completely understand that. Because you're trying to, but of course, when it comes to music and the kind of music that you guys are playing, you're trying to tell a story, right? And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
So when you're talking about Tapi as a song, Tapi is all the different names that Tapi is known as comes out. So that is about the river, of course, and your journey as to how you're flowing and where you're going with it. That's definitely there. But there are, songs like Tishnagi and, Paigam is a number of yours as well.
Paigam.
Am I pronouncing it the right way? I'm not sure.
It's called Paigam.
Paigam. Gumshuda is Gumshuda, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hayya Ho. So, not many people in the South are well versed with Hindi. And of course, this is going to be up in YouTube as well very soon. So, if you can just tell us as to what those songs mean and what they're about, so that I get a feeling of okay, this is what that you guys are talking about, and get into the music as well.
Paigam which literally translates as a letter. So it's about the nostalgia of writing letters. It's about also the fact that we've lost the essence of communication in the digital age, and we focus less on emotion and focus more on the content. So the song is about going back to the roots, back about emotions. Gumshuda is very similarly is about lost values. So all these words have been picked up from Hindi or Urdu, and essentially they all tell a story to dive a journey towards your roots, towards where you come from. It is a universal search.
So your songwriting process and all the songs that you have, Okay, I'm guessing it's the lyrics that definitely come from an idea that stems from Yogi putting it down and saying this is my idea. But when I spoke to you earlier, you were saying that that's not the case anymore. It's more like you putting the idea down and everybody coming together. So what have the contributions been like?
Yeah, so I think it starts with a small seed of an idea, and then it's just there, and we let it grow. We don't force it. We just try to water it, and then slowly it just becomes what it wants to. Rather than we putting our ideas into it, we putting our influence into it. It just happened that we don't like if it's going in some known direction. We would love it if it's going in some unknown direction, and that's how it becomes little off genre or mixed genre, or just we don't know what it is, that kind of zone, and we love it.
Usually you can see Swati taking off on her vocals, and then that at the background Yogi is guiding her with her guitars, and then of course the keys come in, and then very subtly at the back you have Gaurav giving this beat, and almost feels like a jazz player at the back just doing his own thing. But as you're going through the song, you eventually realize that the lyrics are not really important anymore. It's just the song in itself.
Right. We can't say it more perfectly.
No, but has that been the connection that you had with an audience abroad? I'm sure it is.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. I mean, we don't have to say anything. This is what lot of people, in fact, a lot of people have told us that doesn't matter what language do you sing, because the language changes every 2 days when we are traveling around, because we are in a different country in 2 or 3 days. So, like we keep asking people, how do you understand? Is it no?
We don't need to.
We don't need to. The lyrics takes shape of sounds and music, and it just hits us. It's enough. Even if you're playing this same set in the entire tour, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow with that song, because it's no longer your song. It's the audience's song.
Again, I'm asking you this because I need to understand there must be somewhere the genre fits in. How do you describe yourself? I can go and say hey, this is a band that plays heavy metal. This is a heavy metal band, right? This is a band that plays funk, or they play alternative rock, or they play progressive rock. So you go there and what do you say? What do you say you guys are? You just
I
say
have
you're
a
the Tapi
standard
project.
answer to this, that basically what is music in a sense before genres came was a folk music, and folk music was before even classical or any form music with forms arrived. When somebody in the village wanted to tell a story and he sang a song or she sang a song, so I think we call ourselves urban folk. So we are storytellers in an urban environment.
I get you. I completely understand. It's like saying if a bird wants to communicate to another bird, it sings, right? I mean, what
Yeah.
would be the emotion? It's either pain, or is it love, or is it happiness, or whatever. That's the basic thing about music. Actually, you're so right. You tapped a nerve in me, which I was again forgotten. Maybe you can write a song about that, wherein music, like you said, was a story that came about earlier. The genres happened only with people trying to put them and saying we don't play pop. We are not
Yeah.
a disco band. I think when they wanted to really make sure that this is where they stay, in a certain bracket, that this whole genre thing came about. Now, what really astonished me was the fact that when I was going through the kind of music you guys are playing and all that. Of course, I did not recognize Biju now. I'm guessing that the video that I saw where Swati nailed it actually. It was Chris Isaac's Wicked Game. Was that Biju playing
No,
the
no,
keys
no.
at that time?
Biju came in last 1.5 year, and we
Yeah.
might have no YouTube video together.
No.
We have no
None.
YouTube video together.
Just Instagram.
No wonder. because I was
You
thinking to
can
myself,
see him on Instagram.
Yes.
okay, because I was seeing that video and I was thinking to myself, Biju doesn't look like anything like what I'm seeing in that video.
There was
And
a
I
friend
think,
called Nihit Gupta with whom we recorded this first album. So,
Okay.
I mean, even if you listen to our Spotify and all that, this was the album which was recorded back in 2015. So
Right.
our sound has evolved, and it has grown so much more now. So that's, you go and listen to on Spotify, it's a start of the song, start of what we wanted to express. But if you listen to a track like Khuda Ne Mere, I don't know if you've heard that one. But
I have.
yeah, so that is essentially now
The new direction.
the new direction, and the songs which are coming now is absolutely, every song is breaking boundaries for us. What boundaries we want to push. We are doing it with each new song.
Like generally as a musician, you tend to not like your song so much after a while, but surprisingly we are still loving our own songs.
Oh yeah, that's relative when you're saying that some of us don't like our song. Most of you would have your favorite songs when you come in. Okay, this is the one I want to play, and probably some songs would be like. But I guess everybody feels very personal about their songs. I don't think that people really hate the songs that they're playing.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
different levels to it. I mean, I'm just putting my two
Yeah,
bits in.
I think
But
I will say it becomes an audience's song when you're a traveling musician. If you're a musician who's got a fixed audience, no, then in that case, oh, you are this person and you have this audience to cater to. It becomes like a product. For us, I think our
Right.
songs are no longer our songs. I mean, everyone will relate to them in a different way. So we don't feel like that you have any attachment to the song. I mean, we just go and
I
play.
get you. I get you. I get you. I was going through one of your videos wherein you're singing Hiya Ho, okay, and I could see a lot of to and fro happening between you guys and the audience. So Hiya Ho for me is a song wherein it's not actually you guys singing it. You just started off, but everybody else is singing it.
So I'll join into that part, but I'll also join when we were discussing genre and all that. No, I wanted to add something. Is I think music should be about dissolving boundaries and not creating boundaries. And that's where I think Hiya Ho comes. It takes it a step further. Where how the audience becomes part of the band, and at the end, everybody's audience and everybody is the performer. So Hiya is a song. In that direction.
Also, to add to the music making process, I think all the melodies that you hear in the music are all found by Swati. Like we don't even get into that part. She just come up with this amazing melodies, and so it's so natural, so organic that we don't even realize how it's becoming.
Yeah, so I mean, to add to that, like you listen to the drum beat. It's a very weird off drum beat. What's happening?
It is. It is. Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
So that's also very natural. I played this basic rhythm, and Gaurav made it into something else. It's something like that. And that always happens with. I don't know if you've heard the song called Hoga Kya. Again, it is a very weird.
Hoga kya? I have. Yes, I have.
Very weird time signature happening there. Whatever it is.
Time signature.
Not time signature is simple. The groove is so
weird.
weird. Following the guitar, but it's so. I mean, but nobody like sits and works it out. That's the first expression. That's what he came
Right.
with. As soon as I came up with the guitar riff, he came with that drum riff. It's something like that.
So for most of your songs, right? I mean, this is what I've noticed. I mean, there's no bass player there in the band, right? There's no bassist as such. So generally, when you have your music that I'm listening to, I can see Gaurav is doing his own thing on the drums. He's versatile in what he's doing. There's no bassist to back him up. So generally, you have the bassist and the drummer who are like kind of bouncing off each other. So here, I guess it's who is it in the band who's bouncing off Gaurav? Is it Yogi as a guitarist? Is it Biju with his keys looking at him and saying, okay, this is. I mean, you can understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
There's a sync that goes on.
When Anand was there, Anand and Yogi used to switch bass
And guitar.
between the songs.
Right.
Some songs he would play, or some songs Anand would play the bass.
Now we
Now
don't
I-
switch. Biju
Takes
does.
care of it.
Biju does the bass, the keyboards, the drum machine, the
Acting,
harmonies,
vocals.
complete package.
So I'm guessing, okay, now I got the answer to where the bassist comes in from now, like straight on. Biju, what does it mean for you? Because you're the youngest guy in the group, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And as a member, do they rag you a lot? Do they?
No,
Every-
you are
every
so
minute.
sweet.
Every minute.
Every minute. Yeah.
Literally.
Like there's no space to breathe. There's just
Behind him.
Do they ask you to आज Facebook में क्या किया? तो were you listening to the music or तो Facebook में क्या डालने वाला है? Do they ask you that question?
Basically, he has certain anomalies, what you want to call it, not coming on time, not picking up phone, and doing other too many activities.
Doing what people do it at his age.
Like
Yeah.
his
Yes,
sleeping
yes.
schedules are really weird. Like he sleeps 6 in the
And-
morning and he wakes up 3 in the afternoon.
And we have meetings at 10 o'clock. So he's like,
So-
I'll try. And
I don't know. Then I मेरे को पियानो क्लास है मेरे को सिखाने जाना है और इसके बाद मेरे को दूसरा क्लास है मेरा ये. So I mean,
All those
he's
excuses.
the
huh?
youngest and he's the busiest amongst all of us.
So how was your transition? I mean, what were you doing before this, Biju? Because I know what the others were
I
doing.
was-
Before
I was
that,
working
no,
for-
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So
Go ahead,
I
go
was working for few independent artists in Surat.
Not you were, you are.
I'm still. So
See, you're being corrected there also now.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
producing few artists and I was making my own music. Also, yeah, that was mainly the thing that time. And Gaurav, I think Gaurav heard something from my project, and he called me.
we
For,
were actually we were composing this song called Mehsoos. And
Okay.
we wanted some keys, like some textures in the song because, the song was demanding those kind of things. And then I heard Biju's music and I was like, we should just, get him and just see how it goes.
So-
And the song from here, it reaches here now.
So I think Biju, for his age, his musical maturity, his
Understanding.
thinking, he's 22, but he's far more
Far
mature.
ahead than his age. Yeah.
Yeah.
There, see, you've got compliments coming your way also now, Biju.
Yeah, you should mention the love and all the good things
yes,
we do
yes,
to you.
yes.
Now coming to Swati, I mean, your journey into the band was extraordinary, wasn't it? I mean, one day you just go for a competition. Naturally, you win the
Yeah.
competition, and then the Tapi project comes about. Our man Yogi goes abroad. He comes back and he says, "What are you doing?" You say, "I'm not doing anything." So, okay, join us. Is that what happened?
I was working in a government office, like as a tender assistant. And also, vice versa, I was in the band, local band, where I used to sing
Covers.
cover songs and all the Bollywood songs and all that. And then I quit. There was no scene since 1.5 years. And one day I got a call from a friend that चल कल एक competition है हमको गाना है. And I was like, okay. And I went and Yogi was just there. And that's how we met.
So, what did you feel when Yogi said, like, why do you come and join us? Do you really think you
I
would?
was really, really excited, and because I used to listen them on VH1, their Odyssey songs. So I was anyway really impressed with their music. So I was really excited.
Right. So now, if I can ask you, I know for sure that that Biju and Gaurav were there during the real MTV days. When I mean real MTV days, is not the MTV you're watching these days. But when MTV did start, that was like real original music. I mean, you could hear bands that you loved and you grew up with it.
Yeah.
So what was Biju's influences like? What is Gaurav's influences like? And collectively, what as a band, what are your influences?
I think Yogi and I we started off listening to the same kind of music, but I
Yeah,
think
Pink Floyd was our biggest.
Pink Floyd is something common in between, our choices of bands.
To start off as a young guy, young kids, that's very nice. Melancholy trip. It takes you to a psychedelic one. So Pink Floyd that's where we gelled. We both and all our other friends gelled along very well. But now the music, music we listen to has expanded in
Different directions.
crazier direction. Like we listen to things like Bon Iver, or she listens to a lot of Bjork and Anne Brun. My favorite band is Radiohead. So I listen to a lot of world music like Anur Brahim or Dino Saluzzi, and it's just all over. My favorite band was Black Sabbath when I was in college.
Right,
I was a big
right.
Ozzy Osbourne fan.
Yeah. So, and also Nirvana. I mean, so, but very interestingly, I can talk for myself that when I listen to any music now, I can't pinpoint, oh, I'm listening to that sound or this sound. If it sounds appealing to me, that's the music. It could be death metal, like I love Typo Negative sometimes, or
Right.
or
Indian classical.
or I really like Bhimsen Joshi. I love to listen to, or Rudra Veena. So there is music is everywhere. Dino Salusi, if you know, I mean,
Yes.
he just portrays sounds of the wind and the birds and everything, and he just does it effortlessly. So where do you put boundary there? So it's like that.
Again, yes, absolutely. There are no boundaries that comes
Pet,
to their
Pet
kind of music.
Metheny a lot. Like I've been listening to Pet Metheny since, lately.
So, when you're touring now, you've gone abroad, 26 countries, that's a lot, And I'm sure the people, when they come up to you, of course, they don't know what to expect when you guys are playing. And in the beginning of the interview, you said, they just come up to us and said, wow, we loved your music because the lyrics didn't matter, it's just the melody and stuff like that. But has there been places where you have been, I'm sure there would have been places where you've been overwhelmed that, we are just playing our music, like you didn't expect the audience to react in a certain way?
Yeah.
Many places.
Places.
Many places.
I think that's what the reason that when I went for a residency in Europe, one thing was very certain when I looked at that culture, that they're very open, and because listening to music for them is an everyday thing. They go to the pub in the night, they want to see what's the next good band, and all the artists I met, they were like, why don't you bring on your own music in your own language, and that's what we've experienced. I mean, everyone can tell an experience. I mean, you can start off and you'll hear some bizarre experiences.
But the bizarre experiences are the ones that we want to listen to because the general experiences everybody gets to know.
Oh, we
Crazy.
were performing in Varna, Bulgaria, and it was about night of the museum.
Festival of Varna.
Museum festival. So the museums are open all night. You can just go free of cost and just look at it. So there were performance. We were performing there, and just before us there was a classical band that just went off the stage.
Orchestra
and we
was
were like,
there, yeah.
okay, next is us, and the place was full of crowd, and we were like, now people are going to listen to us. We're like, okay, whatever it is, let's just perform. And when we finished performing, everybody was standing and just clapping, like applause for 5 minutes, and we were so overwhelmed that okay, you guys liked it and this much. It was unexpected.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Any others that are there in your memories that just come right to the fore?
The very recent one was last tour in Serbia. We were in a small town called Kruševac, and there was this jazz club there. And our music is, the music is. It's not like disco pop or EDM going crazy music, right? But in the jazz club, there were around 150 people. It was filled. It was like a real filled jazz club, and towards the end, everybody was on the bars and moving lights, and then they were breaking glasses, and the owner of the jazz club came and he said, I want to throw CDs, I want to buy all your CDs and throw. And then he bought some CDs and he threw in the crowd, and that's what's happening. And
Crazy
it's
scene.
crazy.
I've noticed something about your music also. Generally when you look at bands that play today, you always have a solo that takes off somewhere in between, or you have the percussionist who will come and go for it really hard in between, or you'll have something like that going on. That is absent in your music because I can see the percussion is there in the background doing his own thing, right? But there's no like heavy riffs going on or a solo that goes on for at least a couple of minutes. That is missing. Was that something that consciously came into your music, or you thought, hey, this is the way it is?
We don't like it actually.
All
We don't
right,
like
okay.
the soloing and all of that. It just doesn't appeal to us. So we just don't do it. I mean, we can't do it. Rather than not doing, I cannot play a solo. I don't know. Gaurav should answer if he can play a 2 minute
So
long.
he started off as drummer. Then we needed a bass guitarist. So he
No, I
picked
was a
up the
vocalist.
bass.
I was
He was vocalist. Then he picked up drums. Then he picked up bass guitar. And then eventually picked up the guitar. So guitar is very new to him actually.
Yeah.
So I guess in 26 years of you doing vocals, did it come to a point where you thought consciously that I don't want to be a vocalist anymore? Swati, come in and join the band.
Absolutely. Somebody told me you can't sing.
But somebody had to tell him.
And then when I met Swati and we did a song called Rahome. So this is a song I had written in the residency, and I said, Swati, okay, you sing this part, I'll sing this part. And when Swati started singing, and I said, okay, I won't sing anything. You sing.
you just take over as master of ceremonies and let's see where it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So we
So
are
now-
very limited
sorry.
in skills, if you want to say, but so we can't solo, to be honest.
But is there a boundary when it comes to skills as well? I mean, that's the next thing that I would like to ask you, because you're talking about no boundaries being established anyways when it comes to your music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we don't think about skills anymore. Whatever we can
Right.
express honestly, we just try to do that.
Now I'm thinking to myself, when you're saying that, you're not really talented, I'm saying nobody can play that song that way unless you've got some talent, So those boundaries don't exist, So I'm just saying. But that song, Chris Isaak's Wicked Game, it takes a different, the tune remains the same, the rhythm is completely different. That's why
Yeah,
I
I
went to
think-
Massive Attack and I said, you guys sound...
Yeah, okay. So at that point of time, Gaurav was busy in some. So he does sound engineering. I mean, with Bollywood movies. So he was absent for those initial time. So what we did was we initially were gonna do the rhythm section electronically. So that song was the electronic rhythm part. We actually initially thought that we would be a 3-piece band, where all the rhythms and all the textures, everything goes one. I would do the acoustic guitar and Swati sings on top of it. So yeah, I mean, you could say that's where you might have heard a bit of Massive Attack.
So talking about everything merging in one experience and the road forward, COVID can't stay forever. You guys are going to be performing live very soon. I believe gigs are happening in Hyderabad and places like that already. So it's just a question of time when everything just again takes off. Because I think England has opened up, Europe is opening up, the gigs happening in America as well. So it's just a question of time before this thing happens. So what is there in your secret arsenal that you already told us, given us a hint that something is coming that is absolutely different, not really too different, but then there's something up your sleeves. I can see those naughty smiles trying to burst forward, but everybody's keeping quiet. Especially Biju is looking at Yogi.
It's a new song, right?
Yeah, I mean, so we have a lot of new material. So I think hopefully a new song is coming, Hayya Ho, which is coming next month. And
We had an amazing recording.
yeah, and we had a fantastic experience
Recording.
recording. And I don't know if you've heard the latest song called Suburban Zindagi.
No, not yet. Not
So you
yet.
should go and listen, because you'll hear a bit of free jazz, saxophone, chaos and chaotic.
Or damn, if you had heard Paigam and Tishnagi, now
Now listen to Suburban
Zindagi,
Zindagi.
you'll be like, wait a second.
This is a different batch for sure. Hayya Ho would be very different, and then
Hoga kya aur mehsoos.
yeah, there might come Mehsoos after that, and we have a Spanish double bass player who's played on it. This is again a very different kind of an experience altogether. And yeah, I
Where-
think. Sorry.
Where do you get all this coming in from? You have a saxophonist, you have where did is that your friends from abroad who are helping you
So
out?
there's a
or-
very interesting story for Suburban Zindagi. I mean, and people should check out our song right now, because we've just released it few days back. In Barcelona, we were doing a gig, and there was this Venezuelan saxophone player who jammed. I mean, he just joined us for the last. He was sound engineer for that night, and we asked him to jam with us for the last song, and he just came in, and no exchange of music, chords, nothing. We just started playing. He started performing. There is this video, you can check that out. And we've been so lucky to meet so many such amazing musicians on our tour, and we wanted to capture that sound. I mean, and we just recorded Suburban Zindagi, taking that as an inspiration. And Harmish Joshi from Ahmedabad played the saxophone piece in it.
So I guess for all the viewers out there, I'm going to say one thing that I immediately after this I'm going to be going. It's on YouTube, I'm guessing for sure.
Suburban Zindagi, you should listen to on Spotify. Any
On
music.
Spotify.
Yeah.
All right, so for our viewers out there, I'm going to say that Suburban Zindagi is something that I'm going to watch out right now after I finish talking to these guys from the Tapi project. But having said that, I'm going to be in touch with you guys, and I'm going to be looking very carefully and listening to your music for a long, long time to come. Let me say, just flow the direction the river takes you, and keep rocking the way you do, play your music, and stay infectious, because this is something I've realized after talking to you, that the honesty is definitely there. And you have this for every band to come together, you need a brotherhood. You have a sister sitting right there. So I'm saying, let this just flow, keep it going, and hopefully we'll again meet soon on Indie Gaga, inshallah, somewhere else as well. But let the music flow. And thank you so much for being on Indie Gaga.
Thank you so much,
Siddharth.
Siddharth. It was wonderful talking to you.
Yeah.
Same here. Thank you so much, and God bless.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.